What if some of the most powerful healing drinks in history were never truly lost and only forgotten on purpose? Across ancient civilizations, from desert tribes to isolated mountain villages, certain beverages were treated almost like sacred medicine. People drank them to survive brutal winters, recover from disease, calm the mind, strengthen the body, and according to old records, even extend life itself. Long before pharmacies existed, before laboratories and synthetic formulas, humanity relied on liquids brewed from roots, leaves, seeds, bark, minerals, and fruits that modern society barely remembers today. And strangely, many of these forgotten drinks are now being quietly rediscovered by scientists who are shocked by what they contain. This changes everything. Imagine waking up exhausted every morning, your body inflamed, your mind foggy, your energy drained, and then discovering that ancient people may have already solved many of these problems centuries ago using ingredients hiding in plain sight. Some of these drinks were once reserved only for warriors, monks, healers, or kings. Others were so valuable they were traded like gold. But over time, industrial food systems replaced natural remedies with artificial alternatives, and the old knowledge slowly disappeared from everyday life. Few people still know this, but not for long. In this documentary, you will discover 14 forgotten healing drinks that ancient cultures believed could transform the body from the inside out. Some may help support digestion, others were used for energy, immunity, focus, longevity, and even emotional balance. And while the old world explained these effects through spiritual wisdom and tradition, modern science is beginning to uncover something fascinating beneath the legends. Many of these beverages contain compounds that directly interact with the human body in ways researchers are only now starting to understand. And one of the drinks we'll reveal in Topic 13 was once considered so powerful that entire communities protected its recipe in secrecy for generations. According to old stories, outsiders were forbidden from learning how it was made. The reason why may surprise you, but that's not even the strangest part, because in Topic 20, we'll uncover the final forgotten drink, the one surrounded by mysterious accounts that made some historians question whether ancient healers knew something about the human body that modern medicine still struggles to explain today. Now pause for a second. Have you ever wondered why so many modern health problems seem newer than they should be? Why ancient people, despite lacking modern technology, often depended on remedies that survived for thousands of years? Maybe the answer isn't hidden in the future. Maybe it was buried in the past. And if you enjoy uncovering forgotten knowledge, hidden history, and ancient survival wisdom, stay with us until the end, because some of these drinks are probably sitting closer to you than you think. And this is only the beginning. The warrior's fermented drink. A freezing night in the mountains. Exhausted travelers gather around a fire while an old healer slowly pours a dark fermented liquid into wooden cups. The drink smells sharp, earthy, almost alive. One sip warms the body instantly. Another seems to wake up the mind itself. For centuries, cultures across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East believed fermented healing drinks were not just food, but survival tools. Few people realize how ancient this practice truly is. Long before refrigeration existed, fermentation became one of humanity's greatest discoveries. People noticed that certain drinks made from grains, roots, herbs, or fruits didn't spoil the way ordinary liquids did. But something even stranger happened. Those who drank them often appeared stronger, healthier, and more resistant to sickness. Ancient warriors consumed fermented beverages before battle. Farmers drank them during exhausting harvest seasons. Monks used them during long periods of fasting and meditation. Across different civilizations that never met each other, the same idea kept appearing again and again. Living drinks seemed to give life back to the body. This was never supposed to be forgotten. One of the most famous examples was an old fermented grain tonic, consumed in parts of Eastern Europe and Central Asia. Historical records describe villagers drinking it daily for stamina and digestion. Modern researchers now believe the fermentation process created natural probiotics, beneficial bacteria that help support the gut. And today, scientists increasingly understand that the gut may influence far more than digestion alone. Energy levels, mood, immunity, inflammation, and even mental clarity appear deeply connected to the invisible ecosystem living inside the human body. Ancient people had no microscopes. Yet somehow many of them already acted as if they understood this connection intuitively. Think about that for a moment. When beneficial bacteria grow during fermentation, they partially pre-digest compounds inside the drink, making nutrients easier for the body to absorb. It's almost like the beverage becomes biologically upgraded before you even consume it. Some fermented drinks also naturally produce acids and enzymes that may help support digestion. To ancient societies constantly facing contaminated water and poor food storage, these beverages may have quietly become one of the safest and most nourishing options available. And then modern industrialization arrived. Artificial preservatives, sugary sodas, and ultra-processed drinks slowly replaced ancient fermentation traditions. In many places, recipes passed down for hundreds of years disappeared within a single generation. Grandparents stopped teaching children. Families abandoned homemade brewing rituals. What was once daily survival knowledge became old-fashioned and eventually forgotten. But now something strange is happening. Health researchers around the world are once again studying fermented drinks with growing fascination. From kefir to ancient herbal tonics, scientists are finding microbial diversity that may explain why traditional cultures valued these beverages so deeply. Some experts even believe modern lifestyles may have unintentionally damaged the human microbiome by removing many naturally fermented foods and drinks from daily life. This is where things get strange. Certain isolated communities known for unusual longevity still consume fermented beverages almost every single day, and while genetics certainly matter, researchers continue noticing the same pattern: traditional diets filled with living foods and living drinks. Coincidence? Maybe not. Because the next forgotten drink wasn't created for warriors or farmers. It was once used by desert travelers who believed it could preserve strength under some of the harshest conditions on Earth. And somehow, modern science may finally understand why. The desert survival elixir. The sun burns endlessly above an ocean of sand. A traveler collapses from exhaustion after days crossing the desert. His lips are dry, his strength fading fast. Then an elder offers him a strange drink made from soaked seeds, herbs, and mineral-rich water stored inside clay containers buried beneath the ground. Within minutes, his body begins to recover. For ancient desert civilizations, survival often depended not only on water, but on what was mixed into it. And this knowledge was priceless. In some of the harshest environments on Earth, people learned a brutal truth very quickly. Drinking plain water alone was not always enough. Extreme heat drained minerals from the body through sweat, leaving travelers weak, dizzy, and vulnerable. So ancient cultures developed restorative drinks, filled with natural salts, crushed plants, seeds, and sometimes fermented ingredients that helped the body retain hydration longer. These beverages became essential tools for caravans, warriors, traders, and nomadic tribes moving across unforgiving landscapes. This changes everything. One forgotten drink, used in parts of North Africa and the Middle East, combined mineral-rich water with soaked chia-like seeds, dates, and medicinal herbs. To ancient people, it was considered a source of endurance and recovery. Today, modern science offers a fascinating explanation. Seeds rich in soluble fiber absorb large amounts of water, forming a gel-like texture that may slow hydration loss and provide sustained energy. Dates contain natural sugars, potassium, and minerals that help replenish the body after dehydration. Combined together, these ingredients created something surprisingly advanced for its time. A natural electrolyte system hidden inside an ancient survival drink. But there's another layer most people never hear about. Some historians believe these beverages may also have protected travelers from contaminated water sources. Certain herbs used in these mixtures contained natural antimicrobial compounds, while fermentation processes sometimes reduced harmful bacteria. Ancient healers didn't use scientific terms, but through generations of observation, they learned which drinks kept people alive under impossible conditions. Few people still know this. Now imagine the contrast with today's world. Modern energy drinks promise instant power but are often loaded with artificial stimulants, excessive sugar, and synthetic additives. Ancient survival drinks worked differently. Instead of shocking the body into temporary alertness, they focused on restoration, balance, hydration, and resilience. The goal wasn't a quick burst of energy. The goal was endurance. And strangely enough, modern athletes are beginning to rediscover similar ideas. Researchers studying hydration now emphasize the importance of electrolytes,
Within this
mineral
ancient
balance,
vessel lies
slow
the
energy
secret
release,
to desert
and
hydration.
gut-friendly ingredients.
Mineral-rich water
Concepts
and potent
ancient
herbal
desert
seeds.
cultures practiced centuries ago without laboratories or sports science. Some endurance athletes even use natural hydration mixtures inspired by traditional recipes because they produce more stable energy over time. Now pause for a second. How many forgotten solutions were abandoned simply because they looked primitive? History often assumes older knowledge was inferior, but sometimes ancient people paid closer attention to the body than modern society does today. They had to. Their survival depended on it, and the next forgotten drink may be even more mysterious because it was once consumed by monks who believed it could sharpen the mind, calm the emotions, and unlock deeper awareness itself. What they discovered still puzzles researchers today. The monk's silent tea. Deep inside isolated mountain temples, monks once drank a dark herbal tea before hours of silence and meditation. Visitors described something strange about them. Even at old ages, many appeared calm, alert, and mentally sharp. Their secret was not hidden in magic, but in a forgotten drink prepared with extreme precision. This was never supposed to disappear. For centuries, ancient monasteries across Asia protected recipes made from wild herbs, roots, leaves, and fungi, believed to strengthen both the body and the mind. Some drinks were consumed before prayer, others before long fasts or intense physical labor. According to old writings, these beverages helped monks remain awake, focused, and emotionally balanced during difficult conditions. One particular tea became legendary. Prepared from fermented leaves and medicinal plants, it was believed to clear the mind like still water. Modern researchers studying similar traditional teas discovered they often contain natural compounds that may influence stress, focus, and brain function. Certain herbs appear to support relaxation without causing drowsiness, while others may improve circulation and mental clarity. And that's where things get strange. Modern science now understands that some plants interact directly with neurotransmitters, the chemical messengers linked to mood, concentration, and emotional regulation. Ancient monks obviously didn't know terms like dopamine or cortisol, yet somehow many of their rituals centered around calming the nervous system naturally. Few people still know this. In today's world, millions rely on extreme stimulation to stay productive. Endless caffeine, energy drinks, and constant stress push the body into overdrive. But ancient traditions approached energy differently. Instead of forcing the body into panic mode alertness, these drinks aim to create sustainable focus and inner stability. That difference matters. Historical accounts even describe travelers being shocked by how little monks slept, while still maintaining extraordinary discipline and mental sharpness. While spiritual training played a major role, researchers believe their diet and herbal drinks may also have contributed to long-term resilience. Before we continue, think about how rare true mental silence has become. Notifications, noise, stress, screens, anxiety. Ancient people feared physical starvation. Modern society often suffers from mental exhaustion instead. And perhaps that's why forgotten calming drinks are beginning to attract attention again around the world. But the next forgotten beverage was not designed for peace. It was created during times of disease, fear, and survival, when entire communities believed one powerful drink could protect them from deadly outbreaks. And the story behind it is darker than most people realize. The Plague Protection Brew. Imagine living in a city where sickness spreads silently through the streets. Families lock themselves indoors. Markets become empty. Fear hangs in the air like smoke. During some of history's deadliest outbreaks, ancient healers turned to powerful herbal drinks they believed could strengthen the body against disease. And one recipe became almost legendary. Across parts of Europe and the Middle East, healers mixed garlic, vinegar, herbs, roots, and bitter plants into strong medicinal brews consumed during epidemics. Some believed these drinks purified the blood. Others claimed they pushed sickness out before symptoms appeared. While many ancient remedies were based on superstition, modern science later discovered something surprising hidden inside several of these ingredients. This changes everything. Garlic, for example, naturally contains sulfur compounds linked to antimicrobial properties. Certain herbs traditionally added to these brews also contain antioxidants, and plant chemicals that may help support the immune system. Vinegar itself was historically used for preservation and cleaning because acidic environments can slow bacterial growth. Ancient healers didn't fully understand germs, but through generations of observation, they learned patterns. They noticed which communities recovered faster, which ingredients seemed protective, which drinks restored strength after illness. Few people still know this. Some historians even describe protective tonics carried by grave diggers and traveling doctors during outbreaks. In certain stories, people believed these drinks allowed workers to survive environments filled with disease. Over time, the line between medicine and myth became blurred. But here's the fascinating part. Modern researchers now study many traditional medicinal plants for their potential role in supporting immunity, reducing inflammation, and helping the body respond to stress. While ancient drinks were not magical cures, some may have contained combinations of ingredients far more useful than people once assumed, and yet most of this knowledge vanished. As industrial medicine expanded, countless homemade remedies disappeared from daily life. Families stopped preparing traditional healing brews. Bitter herbal drinks were replaced by sugary beverages and artificial flavors. The old recipes survived only in isolated villages, handwritten journals, or oral traditions passed quietly between generations. Now pause for a second. What if ancient people preserved health knowledge, not because they were primitive, but because they were forced to pay closer attention to survival than modern society ever has? Because the next forgotten drink was once considered so valuable that merchants transported its ingredients across continents. Some called it liquid gold, and according to ancient records, warriors drank it before battle. The golden warrior drink. Thousands of years ago, before major battles, warriors in parts of India and Asia consumed a glowing golden drink made from spices, roots, and heated milk. To outsiders it looked simple, but ancient healers believed this mixture could strengthen the body, speed recovery, and protect soldiers from weakness during long campaigns. And its main ingredient was once worth a fortune. Turmeric, the bright golden root hidden inside this ancient beverage, was traded across continents like treasure. In some regions, it symbolized vitality and protection. In others, it became part of sacred rituals connected to healing and endurance. Mixed with black pepper, warming spices, and natural fats, the drink was believed to ignite life inside the body. This was never supposed to be forgotten. Modern science later uncovered something remarkable. Turmeric contains curcumin, a natural compound studied for its potential anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects. Researchers became especially interested after noticing how inflammation appears connected to countless modern health problems, from joint discomfort to fatigue and aging itself. But ancient healers had already noticed something similar in their own way. They observed that people consuming these warming drinks often recovered faster after physical exhaustion. Older individuals appeared more mobile. Workers reported less stiffness. Over generations, the recipe evolved carefully, not through laboratories, but through observation and survival. And then came one crucial detail. Black pepper was often added intentionally because it dramatically increases the body's ability to absorb curcumin. Think about how shocking that is for a moment. Ancient people somehow discovered combinations that modern science later confirmed were biologically more effective together than apart. Few people still know this. Today, many modern drinks are designed for stimulation, fast energy, sugar spikes, instant gratification. Ancient warrior drinks focused on resilience instead. They aim to support the body over time, not just create temporary excitement. This changes everything. Some traditional versions also included ginger, cinnamon, or medicinal herbs, believed to improve circulation and warmth. During cold nights or difficult journeys, these drinks became both nourishment and medicine. Families passed the recipes down quietly, generation after generation, but history almost erased them. For decades, many traditional healing drinks were dismissed as folk remedies with little value. Yet now researchers continue returning to ancient ingredients once ignored by modern culture, and the deeper they investigate, the more connections they discover between traditional wisdom and biological science. Before we continue, the next forgotten drink may be the strangest one yet. Ancient sailors believed it protected them during endless months at sea when sickness destroyed entire crews, and without it, many never returned home. the sailors' survival drink months trapped at sea. Freezing storms, rotting food, dirty water. In ancient times, sailors often feared disease more than the ocean itself. Entire crews became weak, exhausted, and dangerously sick during long voyages. But some captains carried a strange citrus-based drink they believed could keep men alive when everything else failed, and history proved them right. Centuries ago, sailors noticed a terrifying pattern. After weeks without fresh food, many crew members developed bleeding gums, weakness, swollen limbs, and extreme fatigue. Some became too weak to stand. At the time, nobody understood why this happened. Many believed the ocean itself caused the illness, but a forgotten drink changed everything. In parts of Europe and Asia, sailors began carrying preserved citrus tonics made from lemons, limes, herbs, and fermented fruit mixtures. Crews drinking these beverages appeared healthier and stronger during long expeditions. Over time, experienced captains treated these drinks almost like treasure. This changes everything. Modern science later discovered the real reason: vitamin C deficiency. Without enough vitamin C, the body struggles to maintain tissues, blood vessels, and immune function. Citrus fruits became one of the most important survival tools in maritime history. In fact, some historians believe these drinks helped certain nations dominate global exploration simply because their sailors survived longer journeys. Think about that for a moment. A simple forgotten beverage may have influenced the course of history itself. Few people still know this. Some traditional versions of these drinks also included ginger or fermented ingredients to preserve nutrients during travel. Ancient sailors didn't know biochemical terms, but they understood results. Crews with access to these drinks often stayed healthier. Those without them suffered terribly, and the story becomes even stranger. During certain periods, governments resisted adopting citrus-based remedies despite clear evidence they worked. Doctors argued. Officials delayed action. Meanwhile, sailors continued dying from preventable illness for decades. Doctors ignored this for years. Today, modern society rarely fears scurvy or nutritional collapse during travel. But the deeper lesson remains powerful. Small deficiencies can quietly destroy the body over time. Ancient survival drinks often worked not because they were magical, but because they restored what the body desperately needed. Before we continue, the next forgotten beverage wasn't used for survival at sea or war. It was consumed in isolated mountain villages where people became famous for living unusually long lives, and researchers still debate their secret. The longevity mountain drink, high in remote mountain regions, where winters were brutal and survival was never guaranteed, certain communities became famous for something almost impossible: extraordinary longevity. Travelers wrote about elders who remained active deep into old age, still walking steep hills, working fields, and telling stories beside firelight with sharp minds and steady hands. And many of them drank the same mysterious beverage every single day. This was never supposed to disappear. In isolated villages across parts of Asia and Eastern Europe, families prepared fermented milk-based drinks using ancient methods passed through generations. Some versions were tangy and thick, others light and sour, but all were treated with unusual importance. Children grew up consuming them. Elders depended on them. Visitors often described these drinks as the heart of village life. Modern researchers later became fascinated by these regions. Why did some populations appear to age differently? Why were certain communities known for physical resilience and active lifestyles even at advanced ages? While many factors mattered, physical activity, social connection, traditional diets, scientists repeatedly noticed one common detail: regular consumption of naturally fermented drinks rich in beneficial bacteria. This changes everything. Modern studies increasingly explore how gut health may influence aging, inflammation, metabolism, and even brain function. Ancient mountain cultures obviously didn't understand microbiology, but they observed something powerful through experience. People consuming traditional fermented foods and drinks often appeared healthier over long periods of time. Few people still know this. Some of these beverages also contained naturally occurring compounds produced during fermentation that may help support digestion and nutrient absorption. Think of it almost like a living ecosystem inside the drink itself. Unlike heavily processed modern beverages, these ancient recipes remained biologically active. And there was another hidden factor: The preparation process itself created community. Families gathered to make the drinks together. Recipes were shared face to face, not manufactured in factories. In many villages, the beverage represented continuity between generations, a daily ritual connecting survival, nourishment, and identity. Now pause for a second. Modern society often searches for longevity inside expensive supplements and complicated routines, but many long-living cultures built health around consistency, natural foods, movement, and deeply rooted traditions repeated for decades. Simple, but powerful. And the next forgotten drink may surprise you even more, because ancient civilizations believed it could restore strength after extreme exhaustion, illness, or starvation. Some even called it the drink of rebirth. The drink of rebirth. A weak man lies near a fire after days without food. His body shakes, his energy is almost gone. Then an elder slowly hands him a steaming cup made from bones, herbs, roots, and mineral-rich broth, simmered for hours. According to ancient traditions, this drink could bring life back to the exhausted. And for centuries, people believed it did exactly that. Across countless cultures, from Asia to South America to the Middle East, restorative broths became essential during sickness, recovery, winter, and famine. Unlike ordinary soups, these drinks were prepared slowly, sometimes over entire days, allowing minerals and nutrients to dissolve into the liquid itself. This changes everything. Modern science now understands that long-simmered broths can contain amino acids, collagen-related compounds, electrolytes, and minerals released from bones and connective tissues. Ancient healers didn't know chemical names, but they recognized results. People recovering from weakness often regained strength more quickly after consuming these nourishing drinks. Few people still know this. In difficult times, these beverages were sometimes more important than solid food. They were easier to digest, warming, hydrating, and filling. During wars, harsh winters, and disease outbreaks, restorative broths became survival tools hidden inside everyday cooking. And then came something even stranger. Many traditional recipes also included garlic, onions, medicinal herbs, sea salt, or fermented ingredients. Combinations modern researchers now associate with hydration, digestion, and immune support. Ancient people built these drinks through observation across generations, refining recipes based on what seemed to help the human body endure hardship. This was once more valuable than gold, not because the ingredients were expensive, but because survival itself was priceless. Today, modern diets often prioritize speed over nourishment. Instant meals replaced slow preparation. Artificial flavor replaced nutrient density. But ancient cultures viewed food and drink differently. Every ingredient carried purpose. Every recipe existed because someone, somewhere, learned through necessity what helped people survive. Before we continue, imagine how many forgotten remedies disappeared, not because they failed, but because modern life became too fast to preserve them. And the next forgotten drink may be one of the oldest healing beverages in human history. Ancient civilizations believed it purified the body, strengthened digestion, and protected the stomach itself. Modern science is only beginning to understand why. The ancient digestive tonic. Thousands of years ago, after heavy feasts and difficult journeys, ancient healers often reached for one simple remedy before anything else: a sharp, bitter tonic made from fermented fruits, herbs, and natural acids. It burned slightly going down the throat, but according to old traditions, it awakened the stomach and restored balance inside the body. Most people know it today by a different name. Apple vinegar-based drinks and herbal digestive tonics have existed for centuries across multiple civilizations. In ancient Greece, Rome, Persia, and parts of Asia, diluted vinegar mixtures were consumed daily for digestion, energy, and preservation during travel. Soldiers carried them. Farmers depended on them during long workdays. Some cultures even believed these drinks cleansed the body itself. This changes everything. Modern researchers later discovered that fermented vinegars contain acetic acid and other compounds that may influence digestion and blood sugar response. Some studies suggest these traditional tonics may help slow digestion slightly, creating more stable energy after meals. Others explore how fermented acidic drinks interact with gut bacteria. Ancient people had no scientific equipment, yet somehow they repeatedly returned to the same ingredients generation after generation. Few people still know this. In older traditions, bitterness itself was considered important. Bitter herbs and acidic drinks were believed to activate digestion before meals. Interestingly, modern science now understands that bitter flavors can stimulate digestive processes, saliva production, and stomach activity. But ancient tonics weren't always pleasant. Some were intensely sour. Others contained strong herbs that shocked the senses. Yet people continued drinking them because survival mattered more than flavor. In difficult environments, digestion wasn't a luxury. If the body failed to absorb nutrients properly, weakness followed quickly. Now pause for a second. Modern society became obsessed with sweetness. Sugary drinks dominate daily life almost everywhere, but ancient cultures often valued bitterness because they connected it to healing, cleansing, and resilience. That shift may matter more than people realize. Some forgotten digestive tonics also included honey, ginger, garlic, or medicinal roots. Combined together, they created powerful mixtures designed not just for taste, but for function. Every ingredient had a role, and the next forgotten drink may be the most mysterious so far, because ancient shamans believed it sharpened intuition, increased awareness, and connected the mind to something beyond ordinary perception. Even modern researchers struggle to explain it completely. The visionary forest drink. Deep in ancient forests, long before modern medicine or psychology existed, shamans prepared sacred drinks under moonlight, using roots, bark, leaves, and wild plants, gathered with extreme care. These beverages were not consumed casually. They were treated with respect, ceremony, and sometimes fear, because people believed they could change the mind itself. Across South America, Africa, and parts of Asia, certain tribal healers used plant-based drinks during rituals connected to healing, spiritual guidance, and emotional recovery. Villagers claimed these beverages helped individuals confront fear, grief, trauma, or confusion. Some described vivid dreams. Others reported profound emotional experiences that stayed with them for life. This is where things get strange. Modern science now studies how certain plants interact with the nervous system and brain chemistry. Researchers exploring traditional botanical medicines discovered that some compounds may influence mood, emotional processing, stress response, and perception itself. Ancient cultures obviously explained these experiences differently. To them, these drinks opened pathways between the physical and spiritual world. But even today, scientists admit the human brain still contains mysteries we barely understand. Few people still know this. Some tribal healers believed emotional pain could weaken the body just as much as physical illness. So these ceremonial drinks were sometimes used not only for spiritual rituals, but also for emotional release and psychological healing within the community. And there's something modern society often ignores. Stress, fear, loneliness, and emotional exhaustion affect the body deeply. Ancient cultures may not have used scientific language, but they understood that the mind and body were connected. Their healing traditions reflected that belief constantly. Before we continue, not every ancient remedy was safe and not every ritual should be copied today. Some traditional visionary drinks involved powerful psychoactive plants that can be dangerous, especially without experienced guidance or medical understanding. But the larger lesson remains fascinating. Ancient civilizations took emotional and mental healing far more seriously than many people realize. This changes everything. Modern researchers increasingly study the relationship between mental health, inflammation, stress hormones, and physical disease. And strangely, ancient healing traditions often centered around restoring emotional balance long before neuroscience existed. Now imagine discovering that the next forgotten drink was once banned, hidden, and feared because people believed it gave ordinary workers unnatural endurance and strength, and according to old stories, entire industries depended on it. The forbidden energy drink. Long before modern energy drinks filled supermarket shelves, workers in ancient mines, mountains, and harsh farming regions relied on a dark herbal beverage believed to fight exhaustion and hunger for hours. Some called it a miracle, others called it dangerous. But one thing became impossible to ignore. People who drank it could endure unbelievable physical strain. And eventually, authorities became afraid of its influence. In parts of South America and Asia, laborers consumed powerful plant-based infusions made from stimulating leaves and medicinal herbs during long workdays at high altitudes and extreme conditions. These drinks reduced fatigue, suppressed appetite, and helped workers remain alert through brutal environments where survival depended on endurance. This changes everything. Modern science later discovered that many of these plants naturally contain caffeine-like compounds, antioxidants, and stimulants capable of affecting the nervous system and energy metabolism. But unlike many modern synthetic drinks, traditional preparations were often balanced with minerals, herbs, or slower-acting plant compounds that created steadier energy over time. Few people still know this. Historical records describe traders transporting certain leaves and herbal mixtures across enormous distances because demand became so intense. Some communities treated these drinks almost like currency. Workers depended on them. Travelers carried them during dangerous journeys. Entire local economies formed around cultivation and trade. And then came the controversy. As industrial powers expanded, some governments and institutions attempted to regulate or restrict traditional stimulant drinks. Critics feared dependency. Others worried about worker uprisings because energized laborers could suddenly endure longer hours and harsher conditions. In certain regions, these beverages became symbols of resistance and survival among poor communities. This was quietly suppressed. Today, modern society consumes massive amounts of artificial stimulants every day. But ancient energy drinks followed a different philosophy. They were deeply connected to ritual, moderation, physical labor, and survival rather than constant overstimulation. That difference matters. Some traditional versions also included herbs believed to reduce the crash associated with stimulation. Ancient healers observed carefully how the body reacted over time. Their goal was not reckless intensity, it was sustained endurance. Now pause for a second. What if ancient civilizations understood balance better than modern culture does today? Energy without collapse, focus without chaos, endurance without destroying the body. And the next forgotten drink may reveal something even more shocking, because ancient healers believed it could slow aging itself. Modern researchers are still investigating whether they were closer to the truth than anyone expected. The anti-aging elixir. For centuries, emperors, healers, and wealthy families searched obsessively for one thing above all else: longer life. Entire kingdoms invested fortunes trying to discover drinks believed to preserve youth, protect the body, and slow the visible effects of aging. Most failed. But one ancient beverage kept appearing again and again across different civilizations, separated by thousands of miles. Green herbal infusions rich in leaves, roots, and wild plants were consumed daily by some of the world's longest living cultures. In China, parts of India, and isolated mountain regions, these drinks were treated almost like medicine, disguised as tradition. Elders consumed them every morning. Travelers carried dried leaves during long journeys. Some healers even called these beverages liquid longevity. This changes everything. Modern researchers studying aging eventually became fascinated by compounds found in certain traditional teas and herbal drinks. Many contain antioxidants, natural substances that help protect cells from damage caused by stress, pollution, poor diet, and normal aging processes. While no drink can stop aging completely, scientists increasingly study how chronic inflammation and oxidative stress may accelerate physical decline over time. Ancient cultures didn't use those scientific words, but they observed patterns. People who regularly consumed certain herbal beverages often appeared healthier as they aged. Some remained physically active longer. Others maintained sharper memory and mental clarity deep into old age. Through observation and tradition, these drinks slowly became woven into daily life. Few people still know this. One especially prized ingredient was once harvested only in remote mountain regions because healers believed the environment itself made the plant stronger. According to old stories, some families guarded preparation methods in secrecy for generations, and modern science discovered something remarkable. Certain compounds inside traditional teas may influence metabolism, circulation, inflammation, and even cellular repair processes linked to aging. Researchers continue studying these effects today, trying to understand why some traditional diets consistently appear connected to longer health spans. Before we continue, think about how modern society treats aging almost like an enemy. Endless products promise quick fixes, instant youth, impossible transformation. But ancient longevity traditions focused on consistency instead. Daily habits repeated quietly for decades. Simple rituals, long-term resilience, and the next forgotten drink may be the most guarded secret of all. According to legend, its recipe was hidden from outsiders because healers believed it possessed extraordinary restorative power. Even now, very few people know the full story. The secret healer's drink. Hidden deep within isolated villages, certain healers protected a recipe they refused to share with outsiders. According to local legends, this mysterious drink restored strength after severe illness, accelerated recovery, and helped people survive conditions that once terrified entire communities. And the secrecy surrounding it became legendary. For generations, the preparation method passed only between selected family members or spiritual healers. Some stories claimed outsiders who tried copying the drink always failed because one missing step was never revealed publicly. Others believed the recipe worked only when prepared using ancient rituals connected to timing, fermentation, and rare herbs gathered under specific conditions. Few people still know this. At the center of the drink was a combination of medicinal roots, wild honey, fermented plants, and dark berries rich in natural pigments. Ancient healers believed these ingredients rebuilt vitality inside the body after exhaustion, injury, or disease. Villagers consumed small amounts during recovery periods, especially after harsh winters or widespread sickness. This changes everything. Modern researchers later became fascinated by traditional berry-based drinks because many contain high concentrations of polyphenols and antioxidants, compounds studied for their relationship to inflammation, circulation, and cellular stress. Wild honey also contains natural enzymes and antimicrobial properties that ancient cultures valued long before laboratories existed. But the real mystery involved fermentation. Some historians believe the secret preparation process may have created beneficial compounds through slow microbial activity over time. Ancient healers obviously didn't understand microbiology, yet through generations of experimentation, they discovered preparation methods that may have unintentionally enhanced the drink's biological effects, and this is where things become almost unbelievable. In certain regions, local stories claimed severely weakened individuals regained strength unusually fast after consuming the beverage regularly. Over time, these recovery stories transformed the drink into something almost mythical. Was every story true? Probably not. But legends rarely survive centuries without some deeper reason behind them. This was quietly protected. As outside influence spread into isolated communities, many ancient healing traditions disappeared rapidly. Younger generations abandoned traditional practices. Industrial medicine replaced village healers, and countless recipes vanished before they were ever documented properly. Now pause for a second. Imagine how much human knowledge may have disappeared forever simply because nobody wrote it down. Entire generations survived using remedies modern society barely remembers today. And the next forgotten drink may be the most emotionally powerful of them all, because ancient families believed it could calm fear, reduce grief, and bring comfort during humanity's darkest moments. Its story is deeply human. The comfort drink of the ancients. A mother sits beside a fire holding a warm clay cup while heavy rain falls outside. Her family is exhausted. Fear, hunger, and uncertainty surround them. But inside that cup is a drink ancient people believed could calm the body, ease the mind, and restore a sense of safety even during the hardest times. And nearly every civilization had its own version. Across Europe, Asia, the Middle East, and the Americas, comforting herbal beverages became deeply connected to emotional healing, family rituals, and survival during grief or illness. Warm infusions made from chamomile, mint, cinnamon, flowers, roots, and honey were often given to children, elders, and those suffering from stress or sleeplessness. This changes everything. Modern science now studies how certain herbs may interact with the nervous system and stress response. Chamomile, for example, has been researched for its calming properties, while mint and warming spices may support relaxation and digestion. Ancient healers didn't understand neurotransmitters or stress hormones, but they understood human suffering, and they built rituals around comfort itself. Few people still know this. In difficult times, these drinks represented far more than nutrition. They created emotional stability. Families gathered together around warmth, conversation, and familiarity. During wars, harsh winters, or personal loss, comforting beverages became symbols of protection and connection. That may sound simple, but modern researchers increasingly recognize that chronic stress affects nearly every system in the body: sleep, immunity, digestion, energy, even inflammation. Ancient cultures may not have used scientific language, but they clearly understood that emotional peace mattered deeply for survival and health. Before we finish, think about everything you've seen throughout this journey. Forgotten drinks carried across deserts, warrior tonics, healing broths, secret village recipes, fermented survival elixirs. Ancient people spent centuries observing nature carefully because their lives depended on it. And while modern science has transformed medicine forever, history still whispers an uncomfortable possibility. Maybe humanity abandoned more wisdom than it realized. This was never just about drinks. It was about survival, resilience, family, healing, endurance, and the quiet understanding that nature often hides extraordinary solutions inside ordinary things. Some of these ancient remedies were exaggerated over time, others became legends, but many contained principles modern science is only now rediscovering piece by piece. And perhaps the greatest lesson is this: the human body has always searched for balance, not constant stimulation, not endless excess, balance. So the next time you prepare a simple herbal tea, a warming broth, or a traditional drink passed down through generations, remember something important. You may be participating in knowledge far older than modern civilization itself. This changes everything. If you enjoyed uncovering these forgotten healing drinks, share your thoughts below and tell us which ancient remedy surprised you the most. And if there are other hidden traditions or lost knowledge you want explored next, let us know. Because history still hides countless secrets, and some of them may change the future.